So now we talk about a new subject, cross rate. Crowd rate is about two currencies without US dollar, and one currency is expressed in another. So we can treat this something like 200 Japanese yen per pound. All right, this is a cross rate, or 1.25 euro per Swiss franc. Okay, something like this. And you should be able to derive a cross rate from a direct quote, which is your dollar price of a foreign currency. So let's say we have just as the PowerPoint, we have the dollar price for euro, the dollar price for pound, $1.5 per euro and $2 per pound. And you want to develop the pound price per euro. So in this calculation, you will need to multiply 1.5 per euro by 1 pound for $2 to get 0.75 pounds per euro. So that's your answer. The thing is, how can you pick up the right numbers? I mean, I'm not worried about picking up the right numbers. There are only two numbers here. But how do you pick up the right process? Do you multiply or do you divide? If so, if you do the dividing, which one should be on the top of the fraction line, which one should be on the bottom? So here is the problem we need to solve. So let's see, we have two prices, $1.5 per euro and $2 per pound. And you want to develop how much pounds per euro. Okay, so this is pounds on the top and a euro down the bottom. And how do you get that number? So you can do the multiplication to try out. So if 1.5 times $2, so that's going to be 3 as the numerical output, but it's going to be $3 squared per pound multiplied by a euro. Okay, and this doesn't make sense, so we will not do the multiplication. What we can do is to do the dividing. So you can use $1.5 per euro divided by $2 per pound. If you do such a dividing, then dollar and dollar will get canceled, and then euro sign will be flipped to the bottom, and pound sign, which is the denominator of a denominator, will be flipped to the top. And then the answer should be the amount of pounds, which is 0.75 per euro. Okay, this is the correct answer. If you do the other way of dividing, you're going to use $2 per pound divided by $1.5 per euro. And since this is our goal, our subject here, does this method yield the right answer? So you will see definitely dollar and a dollar will get canceled, and this time pound would be flipped to the bottom and euro will be flipped to the top. So the output would be amount of euro per pound, which is incorrect. Okay, so we don't do this. But how can we make sure we don't we come up with the right way first before we try both ways and pick out the answer, the right answer? So you need to make sure that if this euro is on the right of the slash line, then you should put the euro price in the direct quote on the top of the fractional line. Okay, so this 1.5 should be on the top. So let me repeat. If euro is the right symbol to the right of the fractional line as the answer, then you should use the direct euro price as the top of the fractional line. And the pound will be down the bottom of the fractional line, I mean the pound price. Okay, so likewise, if let's say I have two prices here, the amount of $1.2 per euro, and I also have $0.01 per yen. And how do I get the amount of a yen per euro? All right, so as I said earlier, since the right one, the symbol to the right of the fractional line is euro, so I will use the dollar price of euro, okay, on the top of the fraction line, and the other one down the bottom. So as you can see, the calculation will force the euro symbol down to the bottom, the yen symbol to the top, and this will give me 120 yen per euro. Alrighty. And things could be a little bit different if we have a bid-ask spread involved. So you have the American terms for pound price and the euro price, both bid and ask. And you can see ask is always greater than bid. So the question here is how do you get the cross rates of a euro per pound? There's also a bid and an ask. How do you get that? So you can try this out. You can get some pound to start with. You sell the pounds to get dollars, and then you get euros. This is called a cross rate at the implied level. So you do this. That's going to be very touchy. Or you can adopt an alternative way. So I will come back to this example later. I just want to start with something easier so we can understand it better. Okay, so let's say again we have two currencies and both expressed in American terms. I have a pound, dollar price per pound, and also the dollar price per yen. I also have an ask, I have a bid. You see in my writing, ask is on the left, but in the PowerPoint, ask is on the right, but it does not matter as long as ask is greater than bid. That's all it matters. So for pound price, once again, it's a $2 per pound for ask and $1.25 per pound for bid. And for Japanese yen, the ask is a $0.02 per yen, and the bid price is a $0.01 per yen. Okay, and the cross rates I'm asking for is the amount of yen per pound or the yen price for each pound. How could we get that? So we are going to do a combination. Okay, we are going to do a combination. Then we are going to do diagonal combination, which means we are not combining 2 to 0.02 or 1.25 to 0.01. Instead, we are combining 2 to 0.01 and 1.25 to 0.02. Okay, so that's number one. Always use a diagonal combination if both are American terms. So these are both American terms. That's a dollar price per foreign exchange, dollar price per foreign exchange. Okay. The second is we should know which price should be on the top of the which price. So we have this yen per pound, as I mentioned earlier. Do you remember in our euro example? You see this this is the symbol we want to have finally. So in our dividing process, we should put the euro price on the top of the fractional line. Likewise, if we have this pound on the right of the symbol, then we should use the pound price, place the pound price on the top of the fractional line. Okay, so you will have a $2 per pound on the top of the fractional line. By doing a diagonal combination, it will be divided by $0.01 per yen, and this would give you 200 yen per pound. All right. And then you do the same thing with the other pair. You're gonna do $1.25 per pound divided by $0.02 per yen. So dollar get canceled, and this would give us 62.5 yen per pound. Alrighty. So now we have the ask and the bid, and you always know that the greater one is the ask, the lower one is the bid. So that's how you perform the math trick of that. And So I have not talked about any finances at all. I just tell you it's going to be diagonal combination. You're going to put the pound price on the top of the fractional line, just simply following the mathematical rule. So what's the financial sense of that? Why do we want to develop such ask and bid price for the yen to pound exchange? All right. So once again, ask is about buying something. Okay, so ask is about buying something. And what currency are you buying here? You know, you always buy the currency to the right of the slash line. So the currency we're buying, in fact, is a pound. So you are buying British pound, okay, and then simultaneously sell Japanese yen, okay, and sell Japanese yen simultaneously. So it is about yen to pound conversion. But in order to reach that conversion, you should sell the yen to US dollar first and then get to the British pound. Okay, because there's no direct quote of a 200 yen per pound offered by any bank. You have to go through the two banks exchange and then indirectly get this price. And for the bid price, it's about selling things, and you should know it's always selling the currency to the right of the slash line. So you are selling pound and essentially getting US dollars. So you are buying Japanese yen. So it's about a pound to yen conversion. But you are dealing with these two banks. Okay, these two banks. There's no bank give you this rate directly. So you have to convert pound to US dollar first, and then to Japanese yen. Okay, so that's how we exchange from a foreign currency to another foreign currency with the dollar as the intermediate currency. And this is called a cross-rate conversion. So let's see, if you have a certain amount of Japanese yen and you want to convert it to pound based on this rate. All right, so let me just put it right here. Just put myself underneath. Okay, so you have 1,000 Japanese yen here, and you want to convert to British pound, and you are only looking at the bid-ask pairs provided by two banks, and both of these pairs of bid-ask have a dollar involved. So that means your conversion from yen to pound cannot escape US dollar, right? So you have to get the dollar first as the middle currency. So essentially you have to do two transactions if you want to get yen to pound. The first is yen to US dollar, and the other is US dollar to British pound. Okay, let's see how much pound you would get, because this question could be a quiz question or an exam question. From certain Japanese yen, how much British pound do you get? So how to utilize the cross rate? If you are selling yen, okay, if you are dealing with the foreign currency, then based on the rule we learned earlier, we can use the direct quote, and both of these are direct quotes, which is a dollar price per foreign currency. Then you should sell. So when you sell, you multiply the bid. So this is a bid. That's $0.01 per yen, and this is going to give you 10 US dollars. All right. With 10 US dollars, you are going to buy British pound. If you are buying British pound with a direct quote, buying a foreign currency, that's going to require you to divide the amount of dollar by the ask price, divide the ask. Okay, so $10 divided by the $2 per pound. So let me use a slash line instead of the dividing sign. Okay, so in this calculation, dollar get canceled, pound sign flip to the top. Okay, so that's going to give you 5 pounds. Alrighty, so it's going to be £5 you receive from a 1,000 Japanese yen. In the cross rate we calculated earlier, which is 200 pounds, so 200 yen per pound, you can just directly use that. Since this is an ask price for each pound in the price of Japanese yen. So with 1,000 yen, this is about a buying British pound. If you have this price, so you're gonna divide it by 200 yen per pound. So yen and yen get cancelled. So this would give you £5. Divide the ask. You are buying British pound. Okay, you are buying British pound. So this is about buying the foreign currency, and then you divide the ask price. It is already very difficult and complicated to say we have a direct or indirect with a dollar and the foreign exchange involved. Now you have two foreign exchanges. So I do not recommend you to memorize whether we divide or multiply. You just simply play by the math. So between 200 and 62.5, you should know that if you divide 200, you would get a less pound. If you divide 62.5 yen per pound, then you would get more pounds. You know that you are always at the bad end of the deal if you do the service with the bank. So just don't divide 62.5. That's one way to remember things like this. So here's another example. Okay, so now I have 1,000 British pound in our consideration, 1,000 British pound, and I want to convert to Japanese yen, and this is the quotes I'm facing, so I have to convert pound to dollars first and then to Japanese yen. And these are direct quote. So if I'm selling British pound, then I will need to multiply it by the bid price of a pound, which is $1.25 per pound. Okay, and then I will sell the dollars to buy Japanese yen. So if I'm buying Japanese yen, then I will need to divide the ask price of the direct. So divide $0.02 per yen. Okay, so in this whole process, you will see a pound and a pound get canceled, dollar canceled, yen flip to the top. So the answer at last will be 62,500 Japanese yen. Okay, so you should be familiar with the things like this, calculations like this. And back to the PowerPoint, just to start over again. So if you want to find the euro price per British pound for the bid rate, you should know that bid is about selling things, and you're always selling the currency to the right of the slash line. So it's about selling pound. Okay, so you sell pounds and in exchange of US dollars, and then eventually you get euros. So you start with 10,000 pounds to sell. As I said, you sell pounds, you get dollars, and then you buy euros. And in this case, both currencies prices are in American terms. Then what do we do with these numbers? So you have 10,000 pounds, you sell it, you're gonna multiply the pounds by the bid price, the lower one, 1.9712. Then you get 19,712 US dollars, and then you're gonna buy euros. If you buy euros with the dollars, you're gonna divide the euro ask price, okay, in direct term. So you're gonna divide 1.4742, okay, and eventually you get your amount of euros. Okay, so effectively you sold 10,000 pounds to get that amount of euro at this 1.3371 euro per pound. That's a cross rate. This is an implied cross rate when you combine the direct quote of both currencies. Okay, right here you have a cross rates with a bid-ask spread, and this time you want to find the euro price per pound ask rate. Okay, so it's a ask is always about buying things. It's always the higher rate. And which currency are you buying? You're not buying dollars. You're not buying euros. You're buying pounds. Remember, it's always a currency to the right of the slash line. Okay, and then you start with when you buy pound, you're gonna use euros. So you're gonna start with euros. So 10,000 euros gonna be converted to US dollars and then gonna be converted to British pound. So what you do here is you're gonna sell the euros. So 10,000 euros will go by this 1.4738 dollar per euro. So that's gonna give you 14,738 US dollars, and then you're gonna use US dollars to buy the pound. Okay, if you buy the pound, you're gonna divide the ask price of the pound in direct quote or American term. Okay, so you're gonna divide this ask price later, and then that's the amount of a pound you get. If you take the reciprocal, it is going to be 1.3378 euro per pound. Right here, 10,000 euros gonna give you 7,000 pounds plus. But if you take the reciprocal of that, then that's going to be a effective 1.3378 euros per pound as the cross rate.